A lot of people that I talk with in my coaching business are from all over the world, but they have something in common. A lot of them were raised by toxic parents. And sadly, if you were raised by toxic parents, you were raised with a faulty belief system. You were raised to feel like the only way you could feel something, the only way you could trust in something that you feel was if that person validated it. So toxic parents teach and train their children to need external validation, external love in order to feel love, external approval in order to feel good about yourself. And when you're not in a relationship, you can feel like, I need that relationship. I need someone to love me to feel loved. I need someone to see my value in order for me to feel that value. And the problem with that is that that way of being attracts toxic people and it repels healthy people. So I want to talk about that dynamic today, and most importantly, what you can do to change it. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Michele. I'm a life coach, and my channel is dedicated to helping people to break free of subconscious programming and faulty belief systems. So if that's a topic that you like to learn about, then make sure that you subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you're notified of my weekly videos that come up. Okay, so let's get right into it. And before we talk about like the emotional aspect of it, think about physically. If somebody grabs you by your shirt and they're like, I need you in my life, and you don't know them, right? You are going to automatically pull back and be like, what is going on? What is your problem? And it's definitely not going to feel good. It doesn't attract physically, right? Somebody doing that to you physically isn't going to make you want to be with that person. Well, energetically or emotionally, people have the same response. So if you were brought up to need that external validation to get your feelings of worth from somebody else, what do you do? Because that's like your automatic reaction. That's your automatic way of being. However, you've probably noticed that the only people that it really attracts are narcissists, because they love somebody that's like, I don't have this, I need you. I need you. The narcissist is here and you're down here. That's a nice dynamic for somebody like that. But obviously, that's not what people that are feeling that really want. So the first thing that I want to make clear is the fact that if you feel this need for people, this need to be in a relationship, this need to have somebody else love you, this intense need, and it comes from somewhere in your upbringing because somebody made you feel like the only way you could feel good was because of that external, I want you to know that how you're feeling in the moment is not your fault. The way you've been going about things, even though it hasn't been working for you, is not your fault, okay? It's the fault of the parent that didn't help their child to learn how to self-generate love, how to feel proud of themselves, how to trust their feelings, how to have healthy boundaries, how to have a self, right? Even just to have their own personality, because toxic parents don't even allow their kids that. So it's understandable that this would be a struggle. At the same time, even though it's not your fault or our fault, I could say at some point we have to realize and take some form of responsibility. If we don't, then we're kind of like the perpetual victim. That's like, well, you know, I was brought up like that. No one ever taught me how to be better, how to be different. So, you know, therefore I'm always in these relationships. If we think like that, we're going to always continue that loop of attracting someone toxic, being destroyed emotionally, discarded or discarding only to do it again and again. And that gets old really fast. So we want to take responsibility and realize, okay, yes, that did happen. I didn't deserve that. That sucks to have been born into a family like that. But now I have a choice. Now I have the choice to change my inner programming so that I don't keep carrying out the same toxic situations. So right now, if you are still watching this video and you're thinking, you know, I've gone through that. I always feel like I need a relationship in order to be happy, fulfilled, or whatever it is. If that's how you feel and you're still watching this, get out a piece of paper and ask yourself this question. What are the things that I am projecting that I will get if I'm in this relationship? Think of what are some things that you think you're going to be able to get that you feel that at the moment you don't have. Now, when I was preparing for this video, I kind of reflected and I thought of a time when I felt that way, and I wrote down these things, okay? I wrote happiness, to feel loved and appreciated, no more loneliness, more of a purpose in life. Life wouldn't be as boring. I love giving, so I would have someone to give to. Now, those are all awesome things that we can get out of a relationship. We can get a portion of those things out of a relationship. I'm not saying we can't. But what I am saying is that if we don't have them within us, and we are only projecting that we will get them if somebody else is in our life, then we're going to have that energy of, I need you, and people are going to be pulling away. So the antidote would be to ask yourself, I'm looking at my list, make sure you're looking at your list, okay? If I wrote happiness, right? Okay, so I would be more happy. So what things make me happy? I love painting, right? When I'm painting, I feel very at peace. It feels really good. And then I ask myself, well, when was the last time you painted? And because I did this recently, I began a painting because I realized, wow, if that makes me happy, why have I denied myself that happiness for the past 2 years? So I hadn't painted in 2 years. So when we start to see what we think we're missing and we need in someone else and we start giving it to ourselves, that raises my happiness. So think about what things make you happy, even outside of a relationship, and ask yourself, are you doing those things? Are you generating that from within? The other thing I put on my list is that in a relationship, it feels good to feel loved and appreciated. So then I asked myself, okay, what are you doing to show appreciation for yourself? Do you appreciate the little things that you do? Do you notice the good and the positive things that you do? Or are you always criticizing yourself and pointing out the negative in yourself? Once you see that what you're hoping to get in a relationship that you're not doing in your life, and you begin doing that within your life, here's the awesome thing. By generating those things that you feel you need, by generating them within, you energetically attract healthier people. It's like a win-win, okay? While you're not in the relationship, when you are generating the things you think you're going to get out of a relationship and you're learning to generate them within, you raise your emotional state, you raise your passion level, you raise your everything about yourself, and that's attractive to healthy people. We'll take another one in regards to loneliness. Sometimes we think that we need to get over this loneliness, and only by being with somebody else will that take that away. Well, I can pretty much attest to you that if you're in a relationship with somebody toxic, it is lonelier than being by yourself. So something that helps us to not feel lonely is when we feel seen, heard, and cared about by someone, right? Well, do you see, hear, and care about yourself? Do you have a compassionate dialogue? Do you check in with yourself and ask yourself, what do I need today to feel good? What can I do today that would help me to feel like I have purpose, excited about life? Do you check in with self? Or are you always looking for somebody else to be able to give that to you? I hope you're getting my point. I'm not saying don't want to be in a relationship, because there's nothing wrong with relationships and it's very normal and healthy to want to be in a relationship. But there's a difference between wanting and needing. Because if we're needing it and we're projecting everything that we want inside of us, we're projecting it onto someone else as if we can only have that if they validate and give that to us. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. You're only going to attract somebody toxic. Whereas if you build yourself from within and you learn to generate these things within, not only are you going to feel better, more happy, more alive, with more purpose now in the moment, but you're going to attract a healthy person as well.